Guys, Onem is so much more than just a YouTube channel. It is a global members club for ambitious and driven men from all around the world. I would say the average age is around about 26. This is backed up by a world-class network with a directory, so you can search people's skills, job titles, where they're from, see who's from your country and your area, etc. Additionally, we have added optional extras which embody life setup, something that I've been talking about for years, where you can use our Barcelona VIP seats, which are at their new stadium. You can bring a friend, a girlfriend, you can bring business colleagues, whatever. You can use this resort here in Granada, which comes with a heated pool. It has a gym, sauna, terrace, rooftops, cinema room, everything that you will ever need. You can use it like a 5-star hotel. Come and stay here when you burn out. Come and stay here and hang out with members that you meet in the group. Every month we do optional trips as well. We do Tulum, Bali, Porto, Crete, Iceland, Cannes, Monaco, the list goes on. It's one hell of an offer. I personally think it's the best offer in this entire industry. The return on investment that you're getting for your success, your lifestyle, your personal growth is matched by nothing else. So if you want to learn more, click the link below. Now back to the video that you came here to watch. Do you want to know something? It's one thing that I've realized with all successful people, or people who I can clearly see are about to be successful. There's one common trait, and it's that they really believe in themselves and they bank on themselves. They make massive bets and they think, do you know what? I'm going to win, and I'm going to win big here. So it takes place with, you know, sports athletes, for example. You look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo will think to himself, I am going to score here, and I'm going to make a run, and the ball might not come in, but it just might. And I'm going to make that gamble. I'm going to make that gamble on that run, and he runs into the box. 9 times out of 10 it doesn't come in, but that one time it comes in, gets a little header, wins the game, 90th minute, everyone says he's the best player in the world, Ballon d'Or, you know, nobody else would have made that run and whatnot. I see the same in entrepreneurs. I see the same in people in 9-to-5 work, and I'll tie the two together so everyone can get a benefit from this. But with entrepreneurs, what they'll do is they'll go, okay, let's say I've got 100k available, and they'll go, right, I'm going to put 90 back in because I really believe in this idea. And people go, yeah, that's easy, yeah, I get it, like you got 100, you put 90 in, you're not telling me anything that I don't know already. I am, because most people haven't got the balls to do that. Most people haven't got the balls to put not every penny back in, but most people haven't got the balls to have the mindset to be willing to do it. Like, there used to be a film. So there's a guy and his younger brother, and one of the brothers is like natural, and the other guy was like enhanced. Like, they did stem cell research. Like, when he was being born, they changed his DNA and stuff, and they basically made him into a super soldier. And they used to swim as far as they could get. And then they used to swim back and whatever. And they used to see who could go the furthest. Now, the natural guy always used to win. And the guy who was enhanced, who, you know, had limitations, so to speak, who knew how good he was, he used to ask his brother, how do you always beat me when you're nowhere near as good as me at anything? And near the end of the film, he goes, do you know how I used to beat you? Because I never saved anything for the way back. He's like, that's the difference. He was like, I just swam as far as I could swim until you stopped. And I wouldn't worry about how much energy I had to get back. He was like, you knew your limits. You knew how much you'd need to get back. And I think the most successful people go, it doesn't matter if I've got, let's say, 100k available. I'm going to put the whole lot back in because I know I can make more, and I truly believe in this idea. You know, like all the successful people that I know and the people that are going to be successful that you can see they're getting crazy results, they will say, do you know what? If I need to invest 10k in training, I'm going to do it. And they bank on themselves. If I need to invest 50k into infrastructure, I'm going to do it because I believe in the idea, I believe in myself, I believe in the business and whatnot. And it's the same in 9-to-5 work. All the people that I see who get to the top, they're doing external training. Anything that gets offered at work where they say, do you want to do this coaching course? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? They're like, yeah, bring it on. Let's do it. Let's learn as much as possible, because what they're doing is they're banking on themselves. What they're doing is they're believing in their future. It's almost a small form of arrogance where you're like, I deserve it, I'm good enough. And this is actually one thing I've noticed with a lot of people who apply to Onem. A lot of you guys are coming through and you're saying, I'm not good enough to join. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. It's actually a little bit worrying, but I do get it. You're going, oh, I'm not a millionaire, I'm not a billionaire, I'm not as good as you guys, I'm not in as good shape, everyone looks jacked, I'm not good enough to be a part of it. I think a lot of you struggle with that mindset, whereas the mindset I've always had is like, that guy's a billionaire, he's no smarter than me. If he can do it, I can do it. I think that's massively important. I think it's a key cog that a lot of you guys are missing, where you see somebody who's got something you don't and you think, I can never get to that level. No, you could. You just don't have their information, or maybe they're on steroids and you're not, or maybe they had a rich parent and they're just ahead of you, but you could do it. Like, there's an old quote, which is the people that have built the world are no smarter than you are. The people at the top are no smarter than you and I. Like, it's there for the taking. They're at the same level that you could be at. They're just slightly a few steps ahead. They took a different path. They got different levels of information. It happens with 9-to-5 jobs. It happens with entrepreneurial workers. It happens with absolutely everything that you do. If you just think to yourself, I deserve to be at the top, I think I could be the best, then you'll make it. There's a footballer called Gareth Bale. He did an interview recently, and he said he took on this right back called Maicon, and he destroyed him. And he was like, after that game, I started to believe, if he's the best in the world and I've just done that to him, I could do that to anybody. And he said then that took my game to another level, because I had the confidence to go and take anybody on or do anything and try things, because I knew I was at that level. I proved it to myself. And I think a lot of you guys lack that, because everybody I see who becomes successful, the one esoteric quality, if you would, that you're looking for that they have, is that they just think, if I pay for this, it's going to drag me forward. They're not afraid to spend money. They're not afraid to invest in themselves. They believe they should have the best website. They believe they should have the best sales funnel. They believe they should have A players working for them. Whereas I think a lot of you guys are like, well, I just kind of like, I can operate at this level, it's good enough for me. Never say that. Never be like, it's good enough for us, it's good enough for me, that will do. I was talking to some people the other day, a very large company that I was looking into. And on their website, they said, one policy that we have is good enough is not good enough. And I was like, this is what exceptional people do. They don't accept mediocre. Like, every morning I wake up, I rearrange the house, I put it back to the way it should be, I put all the cushions back, I move all the chairs back, I put everything in order. It's very OCD and autistic, but I think that's what top level people have. They're like, I need the best version. What's the best possible one? What, I need to put 8 grand into myself? Yeah, I believe in myself. I believe I'm a winner. I believe this will pay off. I trust the process. This is what top people do. They reinvest money. They're not afraid to spend it. Whereas I've noticed people who are afraid to spend money, who don't put money back into themselves, they tend not to move forward in life. They tend to have uglier girlfriends and stuff. It's just a mindset that ties in with like, I think I'm the guy. I think I'm the one. When people say, do you know how rare it is to be a billionaire? And I always sit there and go, yeah, but I think I'm it. I think I'm him. I think I'm that guy that ends up doing it. Like, that level of delusional thinking, that level of like I don't think it's more of like a causality. I think it's more of like a step-by-step disqualification that ends up getting you there. You know, when people say, I think I could get to that level, and then they go, but yeah, maybe not that level. Maybe not that. It's not really for people like me. They're disqualifying themselves all the way through. Whereas the whole way through, I've just been like, I'm that guy. I could get to that level. I'm the one. When I used to play football, it was like, oh, we got 5 minutes left. We're drawing. We have to win. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be the winner. I'm going to be the guy that gets the goal. Watch, I bet I score. I'd say to people, I was like, I'll win us the game. Watch this. And like 9 times out of 10, I'd end up doing it. And I don't know what it is. I don't know why. But I think that belief puts you in those situations where someone else might be tired and they'll go, we're going to draw, we're going to lose the league. Whereas my mind is thinking, if I make this run, we could win the game. And I do the same with business. I do the same with everything I do. I do the same in 9-to-5 jobs. I'm like, if I stay later and work on this could pay off. And then they're like, hey, we're going to give you a promotion. And then people are like, oh, you're so lucky. You make your own luck in this world. My granddad used to say that. Like, I never met him, but I got told he used to say this all the time. You make your own luck in this world. And I'm a true believer of that. Let's go and smash a workout. Do you know one of the big problems I think a lot of you guys have is that you focus on the outcomes rather than the inputs. And This is a massive trick to life that I only learned around about a year ago. But you can't just like, the more benchmarks you put on things, the worse it becomes. Like when you focus on the outcome of an action, you get disappointed a lot. So when you say, I tell you what, in 6 months we're going to be millionaires. If that doesn't happen, you're going to be pissed. If you say in a year's time we're going to have this done, this done, this done, and only half of it's done, you're going to lose energy. Like, one thing I was guilty of is I was like, after this Bali trip, the brand's going to explode. It doesn't. After Marrakesh, that's it, 'cause it's 2 in a row. It's going to explode. It doesn't. And then, you know, I was like, after this Cap Foray trip, people are going to see consistency. Okay, yeah, a few people joining. Okay, after, mate, Porto and Crete, back to back, 2 mega houses, the best we've ever done, the most money we've ever spent, with a top level camera guy. Watch how big this goes. And it's like, yeah, well, to be fair, it did actually explode. But then, you know, it calms down, it goes back to normal, and you're like, Iceland's the one, because it's a different type of, you know, and then, oh, Cannes is going to be the one. You just have to stop doing that. There is no silver bullet approach. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, what's the input? Because I think if you have, like, you can have measurable targets and timelines on things, just because people are lazy and you need to stay on top of them, and you need to just be like, are we doing what we're supposed to do within this time limit, or are we fucking around? I think that's important. If you're doing that, that's key, because you're measuring stuff, and then measuring things allows you to track progress. That's important, right? But I think expecting certain outcomes and they don't happen just makes you disappointed. And because it's very rare that they actually go the way they're supposed to go. And Hormozi's got a quote on this where he says, it's taking a long time because you're in a rush. And I think that happens to a lot of you guys. I think instead of focusing on the inputs of like waking up every day and saying, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to work on, I need to do this on repeat. And for me personally, I'm going to do them within this time frame. Okay, brilliant. What's next? Brilliant. What's next? Brilliant. What's next? The people go, we're not really getting results. And you're like, yeah, but it's the right thing to do. That's the important part. I think if you do something with an expectation, it loses all meaning. It's almost like taking a girl out for dinner and expecting sex. You're like, so you only took me for dinner because of that. It kind of loses the meaning. I think it's the same with business. You know, it's like me and Justin in the house, we were just talking about this. He said guys who go to the gym, they'll do one session and then they'll stand on the weighing scales and be taking like before and after pictures and shit. And you go, yeah, but you're not going to look any different after one session. You know, or they step on the scales after a week and they're like, oh, I'm heavier, man. What's going on? Forget that. Like, why would you look at the outcome? Why would you look at like, oh, I'm a kilogram heavier. What's going on? What are the inputs? Did you eat clean? Did you go to the gym? Did you sleep well? Did you drink your water? Did you get daylight and go for a walk? Yes. Then shut the fuck up. Because it's going to take care of itself. And you don't really, this is what you guys fuck up on, and I used to fuck up on so much. It's such a curse for men. You don't need to worry about when it's going to happen. You just need to worry about what you're doing. Because if you're doing the right things, the outcomes will take care of themselves. The results will take care of themselves. Like if you wake up every day, you go to the gym for an hour, you train hard, you eat clean, and you go to bed early, you drink your water, you're not having sugars and alcohol and whatnot. It might take a guy with superior genetics a year. It might take you 5 years, but you know that by doing what you're doing is working. It is moving forward. It's positive. Like I have to spend, I won't give a figure on it, but like I basically have to spend a year's wage for like, it's probably like double the average yearly wage. I have to spend that in the next few months on this business. Now I'm happy to do it because I know it's the right thing to do. And there's like 7 different areas of the business that are going to improve drastically by me doing this. So it's not even a second thought. I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to put that money back in. I'm going to reinvest. And then people are like, well, do you think you'll get an ROI? And it's like, yeah, but I don't care when. Do you know what I mean? It might be an ROI in 6 months. It might be in a year. It might be in 3 years. Like I made that intro, the intro to this video that you watched regarding Onem. All of that footage, the way the house is looking, that's 2.5 years of hard work, of going on trips endlessly, going through all the footage that we have and being like, wow, we have like £1 million worth of footage here now. Especially after the next few trips, it's like, we got like £1 million worth of footage. And what I mean by that is like, it'll probably generate like a million in income at some point. And you go, well, that's such an asset to the brand. That's like a buyable I know it's not physical, but it's like a buyable, tangible asset that you can put your hands on. Like it's media that you own, that you can repurpose and use over and over again for testimonials, adverts, different things. Like that's a weapon. And at the time when you did it, there wasn't much of an instant ROI, but you knew it was the right thing to do, and you knew the input was correct. And that's all you have to focus on is like, just like outcome, whatever happened, whatever the result was, forget about it. You have to just go, what I did, was it the right thing? Did we do the right thing? Did we make the right decision? Do we think that will impact the long-term performance of the brands, or my 9-to-5 job, or my physique, or whatever it is that I'm doing? And if the answer is yes, then it was the correct thing to do. That's what I mean by many thinking decades are dangerous. And I always said to you guys, it was because of decision making. Because if you make short-term decisions, you're chasing short-term money. Like people will get less views on YouTube and revert back to content that gets more views. I've always said that's stupid. Because is it the right audience? Is it quality people? Is it moving you forward to where you want to go in the future? Or is it just reverting back to an old style that feels safe? And that's why short-term decision making makes you more money, but then it burns out quicker as well. It's like if somebody says today, I want money, I'm going to make a course. Yeah, you could be doing like 10k per month pretty quickly, and now you're balling out of control, buying all this shit and whatnot. But in 10 years time, which seems like a million years away, but it's not, you know, you're going to be sat there going, what am I going to do for work? I've got a 10-year gap in my CV. I really didn't think this through. Whereas, like somebody said to me yesterday, and I don't mean this as a negative comment, that's not how I move, but they said, I think O-Nem sounds goofy. It's a terrible name. And I was like, okay, fine, but you've got Soho, you've got Aman, you've got O-Nem. It rings the same bell. It's striking. It means importance in multiple languages. And I think it's very appealing to Middle Eastern investors in the future. And the idea of men being important to Middle Eastern guys really fits the culture. And I'm thinking 10 years ahead. I'm thinking in 10 years' time, we're probably going to get a 100, 200 million pound offer to invest in this brand because of the name, the nature of it, what it means. You know, it's going to have spiritual importance to them, the way that it focuses on men first and stuff like that. You've got to think so far ahead. And I could have easily just sat in Cheltenham making YouTube videos, selling supplements, making 30 grand profit per month for the next 5-6 years. But I just knew that it was going to come to an end. I saw the amount of competition and stuff like that. And that would have been focusing, like that was me just focusing on inputs. I was like, what's the right thing to do right now? Forget the outcome, forget the income, forget what it's doing to you and whatever. And now it's proven to be the better result, but I'm thinking so much bigger than that. So much bigger. And it's just like, what can you keep dialing in that is eventually going to feed out? And eventually is the key word, because you're just like, if it takes a year, if it takes 10 years, if it takes whatever, I know it's the right thing to do. And I'm sure when it clicks, when it is an accumulation, when it is an aggregation of marginal gains, as I've told you guys before, where you just improve everything by 1%, 5%, 10%, you improve everything where you can by how much is possible, eventually it all adds up. And you get hockey stick growth. But like whenever that happens, that happens. It doesn't matter. Whether I'm here, whether I'm there, don't even think about it. Like, because I used to constantly do this, go, I think we're about here now, and I think this is about to happen. Then it doesn't, and you realize, oh, actually, we were here. And it's like, that's disheartening, because you lose energy. When you go, this one thing, this is it, I've got a feeling it's going to work. Like, I used to do it as a kid, we're going to win the lottery, I've got a ticket here, mum, we're going to win. And then the numbers don't come out, and you go, we're still poor, and it feels terrible. Whereas when you go, like, I don't even care. I know what I need to do. I need to make more money. I'm just going to go to work. I'm just going to save my money, go to work, focus on the inputs. Yeah, I'll buy a ticket, but did I win? No, whatever. Like, I knew it wasn't going to win anyway. Like, that's kind of how you got to play things, because if you go, I see people do this as well. I've seen, like, over a 10-year period, nobody outworks me. Over a year of gym sessions, nobody outworks me. But in a one-off gym session, I can get outworked. I can get out-trained. In 1 year, I can get outworked and outperformed by a guy on YouTube or something like that. But over a 10-year period, nobody outworks me as an accumulation effect. And that's why I win. Because I see guys go for it for a year and they're doing like, I did 200k months and I'm doing this in the 10 level 100k per month. They're going on every podcast, and then, you know, they've been on drugs to sustain that. They've been on Adderall and testosterone and whatnot. And then they just burn out and they're like, I'm depressed. I've got no energy. I've got heart issues. I'm going to the doctor. And it's like, You just kind of blew your load in a year. What are you doing, man? Like, take your time. Just let the punches roll. Like, I prepare for a 12-round fight, and then I prepare for a fight in the car park afterwards. Like, that's how I prepare everything. Whereas a lot of people are like, I'm going to knock him out in the first round. What if it doesn't happen though? You just always prepare for worst case scenario, and that's what I've done. I've always done it. I've just been like, okay, like, we're just going to see how long we're just going to do, and we're just going to do the right things on repeat because I know they're the right things. It makes so much sense to me. I don't care about the short-term results. I don't care about people's opinions. I just care about the long-term outcomes. And if you guys start doing that in everything that you do, and you think in decades, that's why I always say many think in decades are dangerous, because it's the short-term versus the long-term decision-making. And that is ultimately what gets you the win. Right, let's lift some more weights. So there's a guy inside Onem who is 22 years old, a great personal friend of mine. When he joined, he won't mind me saying because he said this in his testimonial, but he had like 2K in his account, put it all in to buy the initial membership, which was 1999, and today he's doing like 20K months. So, you know, like, he gambled on himself, he bet on himself, and it's got better, and he still does it today. So he'll message me and he'll say, I'm going to hire this guy, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, go for it. And he's like, this guy knows everything there is to know about sales, he knows blah, blah, blah. He's going to take me to another level. And then he goes, yeah, it's expensive, it cuts into my profits, but I'm going to do it because I think I need to get to the next level. 2-3 months later, he'll message me and he'll be like, yeah, I've doubled my income. Like, it keeps getting better because he keeps gambling on himself. He keeps betting on himself. He keeps saying, if I believe in myself, I need to put money into it. If I believe in this idea, I need to put money into it. And so many of you guys, I discussed this with my girlfriend recently, in this generation, so many of you are scared to spend money. So many of you are scared to part with that cash that you've got in the bank account for a rainy day. But what does it represent? I don't understand it. If you've got like 50K in the bank and you're sat there protecting that 50K, that's not going to keep you alive. Like, that's just make me feel better money. It's not like, if it was 5 million, I'd be like, you got a decision to make, because you could retire. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, you could retire, you'd be fine. Like, you could even retire with 2. I'd be like, you got a decision to make. Do you want to have kids? Do you want to settle down? But when people are protecting like 50K, 100K, yeah, like, you buy one house, you're fucked. You buy one car, you're semi-fucked. Like, you have one child, you're definitely fucked. It's not, like, people don't understand this concept of like I'll explain this to you. Like, as 9-to-5 entrepreneur, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. Here's what happens. You live with your parents. You start making money, and you go, "Oh my god, I've got £1,000 spare per month. Like, how are my parents broke? How has nobody got any money? This shit's easy." You look up car on finance. I can get a BMW for £400 per month. Oh my god. So you go and get a BMW. You go and buy a watch or some shit like that. You buy some nice clothes. Now you're driving around in a nice car. You got your watch on. You got your beautiful girl next to you. Taking her out for a few dates because you're living at home with parents, and you're thinking, I'm a successful guy. But what you haven't thought is, does that money take me all the way to the end? Which is wife, kids, house, car, lifestyle, holidays, home improvements, bills, protection against inflation, personal, phone's about to blow over, personal income protection, life insurance, you know, home insurance, house bills, food shopping for 4 people, fuel, car maintenance, boilers gone. That's what you need to plan for. And this is what everyone does wrong, is they go, I've saved up 20K and I've got a BMW. Yes, well done. However, you live at home with parents. So now you move out. So you had 1,000 spare per month. You move out, you're now paying rent, which is about 800 per month, let's say, like, best case scenario. And now you've got to do your own food shopping and energy bills. Guess what you end up doing? Cancelling the car contract. You end up cancelling that and going, I can't afford it anymore. It's either rent or car. I need a pay rise. So then you start realizing, actually, I need more money. I've spent too much and I need more money. So then you go and make more, but then you want more stuff. So then you realize you need more, and you need more, and you need more. So whether you're a 9-to-5 worker, an entrepreneur, every step of the way you realize, like, it happened to me. I made £13,000 from the supplements when I first launched them years ago. And I took my mum out for food, and then I sat there and I went, fuck, if I want this to continue, I'm gonna have to put all that money back in to buy the next batch. Because, like, for me at the time, 13k was like, you've made it. Like, that money's gonna last forever. Your bills are low. And then I was like, nah, if I want to be mega successful, I need to put it all back in. So this is what you guys are fearful of, is you want a one-hit wonder. You're like a music artist that gets a good song and goes, that's it. It's like, no, we need an album. We need album 2, album 3. We need to build a legacy here. So you might end up saving up 50k from a 9-to-5 job. But in order for you to become the man you need to become and get to the next level in life, that money's got to go back in. You gotta bet on yourself. And a lot of you don't bet on yourself. You don't believe in yourself enough. I would make 100k back in the day and go, okay, we're going to put like 80 back in because I know what we need to get to the next level. I know what infrastructure we need. We're going to have to sacrifice this. Chris, you're going to have a shit life. And I was like, yeah, no, that's fine, because I'm banking on my future self. Like, I do it to people around me all the time. They're like, oh, can we buy this? Can we buy that? You're making loads of money. Can, like, you fly me? I'm just like, nope. I'm not doing it. I'm putting it all back into this thing, because in 5-10 years time, when we never have to work again, then you'll realize why I was doing it. And you've got to almost be so driven and selfish with your intentions that it consumes everything. And, you know, you're in a 9-to-5 job and you might save up 50k, and then so you just go, oh, this is me for the rest of my life. No, because when you have kids, your wife, mortgage, car, etc., all those payments that I outlaid, you're going to struggle. You're really going to struggle. And now you're going to be that guy that wishes he pushed it a little bit further. Do you know what I mean? You have to take what you have to get what you want. It happens every time. It's a trade-off. It's stick or twist. Every single time you sit there with what you've earned, what you have, what you've gained, and you have to cannibalize yourself, your earnings, your assets, your lifestyle to get the next one. It's almost like, you know, it's almost like just the way that certain animals give birth to, they give birth, and then maybe those same animals then kill the mother or something like that. I don't know if there's an animal that does it, but I know there's animals that do similar things. There's like the black widow that mates with the male and then eats the male. For you guys, it's almost like you're giving birth to your future self. Do you know what I mean? And then your future self is feeding off your old self to get to the next growth level. Horrible analogy, but it works. Do you know what I mean? It's just, that's what you're always doing. You're killing your old self. There was a Weekend song where he did this. He like killed the older him, and he put like a bag over his head and then like put the zip tie on, and he had to kill his old self to become who he is now. You guys have to do that. You have to cannibalize your current self, your current money, your savings, etc. You have to put it into things that you think are going to improve yourself to grow to the next level. And that's stick or twist surmised, and that's success surmised. You know, it all comes down to the inputs and just doing the right things and almost cancelling out emotions. But I'm scared. You're like, yeah, we're all scared. We're all scared of putting in all the money that we've got. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, you got to believe and bet on yourself and your future, because your current self is good, but you need to go a little bit further. You need to take it further. And I'm telling you now, no growth happens when you do the same things on repeat. All growth is from doing new things. All stress, all pain, all learning curves, all skill acquisition is from new. It's always from new. Like, you think I just built this house because I had experience and it was easy to do? You think we set up this gym because it was easy to do? Had no fucking idea. Contacting people left, right and centre, the most stressful thing I've ever done. I lost 10 kilograms, but now I'm sat here in a very good position in life, knowing how to go to the next level. And then you have to kind of cannibalize what you have and go, okay, the MVP is fantastic, but we have to cannibalize that and go to the next level. We're getting a new website built at the moment. It's costing a fortune, which I'm happy to pay. I've got no issue with it. I'm happy to pay. It's a good thing. But it's our 4th website. The business is only just over 2 years old, really. It's like 2 years and 3 months. And it's only like a year and 9 months since we actually had the first launch day. And we're on website 4. Like, that's every 6 months there's a new website. So you build one and you go, this is fantastic. Yeah, no, we're going to have to tear that down and build another one because we're growing so quickly. We have to go again. And then somebody would say, you're wasting a lot of money on websites. It's like, this is it though. You have to cannibalize what you have. Like, you build something, it makes you money, it progresses you to a certain level, then you cannibalize that shit and use that shit to get to the next level. There's not really like an end goal. You've got to stop thinking there's an end goal. It's not a marathon where you finish it and you go, oh, it's complete now. What you're doing is you're almost putting all this effort in to build something, to then use the facilities that you've used to build that with to build the next thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like going out, collecting wood, stone, everything, building a house. And then after 6 months being like, it's too small, smashing that house down and using that house to go and build the next one. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's say you build that first house, you live in that house, you use that first house to make more income, to build a stable life, to build something, to grow something. And then when everything gets too big and too unmanageable, you then smash that same house down, use those same materials to build the next one, plus what you've earned. And that's a continuous game until you get to a point where you go, I'm going to stick. But the twist needs to go on quite a while. And that's what people don't like, is people go, yeah, but I've got 20k in my account, and if I lose this, I'm scared. I'm not going broke again. Lose that. Like, the rich kids succeed a lot. And people go, yeah, because they're rich kids, obviously. No, they actually found in the book Grit that grit was the biggest determining factor of success. And they found that rich kids had accidental grit. What I mean by that is, they found that because they had a risk tolerance that was very high, because they knew if they ran out of money that their dad or mum would just give them more money, they were just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck. That's the same approach I want you guys to take, but that comes from, like, as a poor person, that comes from grit. That comes from, I'm going to try again, I'm going to try again, I'm going to try again. The rich kids had that because they had unlimited resources. So it was like accidental grit, where it wasn't that they were passionate and whatnot, they just had so much money they couldn't fail. They got 300 attempts before it worked, and then everyone said, oh, they're a genius. They could lose so much money and it didn't matter. They could fail so many times and it didn't matter. Whereas you guys, you're scared of failure because you grew up broke, the same as me. So you see it as like, this 50k that I have right now, if I lose this, I'm cooked. And it's like, yeah, no, but you can always earn it again. There's no problem with that. Like, you could work a 9-to-5 job, save up 50k, put it into something, it all fails, just go again. Yeah, but then I'll be 28. Don't even look at it like that. Don't even look at it like that. Just look at it as like, I learned some skills, I'm banking on myself, I have to go again. Just look at it as the inputs. You know, I did streaming platform, it worked, but I realized the scale of it. You know, we did what we said we were going to do, but I couldn't continue it because I was like, fuck, it's a lot of money, it's not really going to work. It's probably the wrong time in my life to be doing a business like this. Lesson learned loads of skills from it, learned so much about videography, about properties and stuff when I was traveling around, met some really cool people, how to manage a team, logistics. I was like, okay, I'm a better person because of it. I've dealt with like hate and shit, and I was like, okay, next, what's the next thing? And then you use those skills to get to the next bracket. And now we just keep cannibalizing the business that we have to get the bigger one and the bigger one and the bigger one. You almost like build something, feed it, and then something else eats that so that that can survive, and then something eats that so that can survive. You know, you never seen that picture? It's like a little fish, shark underneath, then a megalodon, and then, or something else. Do you know what I mean? It's like it gets bigger and bigger and bigger every time until eventually you have like the kraken at the bottom. That's what you're doing with your own businesses. You're just cannibalizing them. Or if you're in your 9-to-5 job, you're cannibalizing your previous job role and who you were and your previous skill set and the money that you had. You have to bank on yourself. You have to reinvest. It's the one trait that I have seen all successful people, all on the way to being successful people, and all future successful people have got. They're all doing the same thing. They're all getting their money, their resources, their time, what they have, and they're banking on themselves. They're believing in what they're doing, and they're saying, I think this is going to work. I'm going to use what I currently have to get to the next level. That's the one key. That's the one thing that I've found that every successful person does. And, you know, people say they have no fear. No, they have fears, because I still have fears today. There's always a fear of like, it could all go away, but then you're like, yeah, but I'm okay with that because I did the right thing and I made the right decisions. And I think this is the best outcome for my success. If I'm wrong, I can live with that, but I can't live with the regret at 60, 70, 80, 90 years old that I should have done more, or at least tried to do more. But I can live with the fact that I gave it a go. I think that's a good note to end on. Let's lift some more heavy weights. Little outro montage. And I'll say goodbye now. See you, boys.